One Zambia, one nation. Good evening and welcome to the news at 18 hours on TV2. To present the news, my name is Nabwali of Lahakis. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Government says it will not allow commercial farmers to use small-scale farmers to lobby for a higher maize market price. Police in Kafue have arrested 4 people in connection with the theft of 4 solar panels for the presidential milling plant at Mochika Cooperative in Kafue district. In sports news, Chipolo Polo coach Wetson Urenda says next month's World Cup qualifier against Nigeria is crucial as it will determine Zambia's passage to Russia 2018. We now have the news in detail. Government says it will not allow commercial farmers to use small-scale farmers to lobby for a higher maize market price. Defense Minister Davis Chama says government was aware that the commercial farmers want to use the small-scale farmers for their benefit. He said when the FRA announced the price of maize, it had done a cost assessment to ensure that farmers would make a profit at that price. The minister was speaking today in Mufulira when he paid a courtesy call on the District Commissioner, Hilda Kawesha.
Farmers being subsidized by government. There is a certain price that they make a profit from a certain price level. So you cannot compare a big farmer with a commercial farmer and a small-scale farmer. But now these big players in the market, they want to influence small-scale farmers that don't sell your maize to government. Because it's the same people who are making money. When government sets a price, even at a certain price level like last year, the same people are supplying maize to FRA. So government has realized, instead of small-scale farmers benefiting, these are the same people flooding a lot of maize on government, suppressing the small-scale farmer, dwarfing the small-scale farmer. Instead of small-scale farmer benefiting, they're the ones who are benefiting instead. So the government wants to protect the small-scale farmer. But now the big players are crying foul that, you know, the price is not good, trying to instigate the small-scale farm.
Police in Kafue have arrested 4 people in connection with the theft of 4 solar panels for the presidential milling plant at Mochika Cooperative in Kafue district. The 4 suspects were arrested by police with the assistance of the neighborhood watch in Chanyanya area. The suspects are Chimunya Mulongo, age 21, Nicholas Munyinya, 20, Jonathan Jolamoyo, 24, and Connives Chilua, who have been detained at Kafue Estates Police Post. Kafue District Officer in charge, Jason Lungu, said the suspects will appear in court soon. Meanwhile, Kafue District Commissioner Joseph Kamana said the culprits will be prosecuted. 4 companies have entered the $3 billion Kabwe Multi-Facility Economic Zone. Kabwe Mayor Prince Chileshe said the 4 are specialized in agribusiness and agro-processing. Mr. Chileshe said the fertilizer manufacturing company, Forced Coal Zambia Limited, is already running and would help reduce fertilizer costs and enhance development. He was speaking in an interview with ZNBC News in Kabwe after touring the 4 companies. And Forced Coal Fertilizer General Manager Kevin Young said the company is producing over 150 tons of fertilizer per day. Mr. Yang said Zambia provides a lucrative and vibrant market for the agriculture sector, especially with the government-run Farmer Input Support Program benefiting 1.2 million people. Teaching Service Commission Chairperson Stanley Muhango says the Commission has started the process of disciplining teachers with fake documents. Mr. Muhango says the Commission has already engaged the Ministry of General Education to write suspension letters for the erring teachers. He says this would pave way for further investigations in the matter. He also says the Commission is concerned that about 391 of the victims are from government schools, saying these teachers are a danger to the standards of education in the country.
The established under the Teaching Profession Act number 10 of 2013 has been able to bring to book those that you would want to consider as fake teachers. If you remember very well, on the 14th of June 2017, when His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwa was swearing us in, he did allude to the fact that the teaching service is highly contaminated, and he gave very strict instructions to say there is need to go and sanitize the Teaching Service Commission. You would also agree with me that in the recent past, I think some stories about teachers in public schools have not been anything to go by and to be proud of. More especially that teachers are the shapers of society.
Vice President Untitled has called on well-wishers to come on board and support the Build Back Better Markets initiative for the recently gutted Lusaka City Market. Speaking when she received a donation of 276,000 kwacha from the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, at her office today, Mrs. Winner said a lot of lives, including taxpayers, were affected by the disaster. Mrs. Winner says it is a well-known fact that the ZRA had also lost revenue collections from some of the businesses that were destroyed by the inferno. And ZRA board chairperson CHELA told the Vice President that the authority wants normal business operations at the market as quick as possible.
Well, I think we need to shake hands. Yes. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, as a tax authority, apart from the humanitarian aspect, we realize that some of the marketeers and traders are taxpayers who contribute their hard-earned income to national development. The loss of business for the Lusaka City market traders represents a loss of opportunity for trade and income generation, and ultimately a loss of potential tax collection through taxation of the informal sector.
And it shows that it's a donation that comes from the bottom of your hearts, and we are grateful for this. And especially when it comes from ZRA, where members of the community have a notion that the tax collectors never help anybody. Their job is to collect funds, but you have demonstrated that the boards and management and the staff are members of the community, and they also feel empathy for the community that has lost its property and their livelihoods.
You're watching the main news on TV2. We'll now take a commercial break. We have more news when we return. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Community Development and Social Services Minister Emerin Kamanshi has handed over a motor vehicle, 6 motorbikes and 33 bicycles to Nalolo District, meant to support the community programs for women and girls' livelihood. Among the programs that have been introduced in the area includes a program meant to train women in different businesses and giving startup capital to each woman, social cash transfer, and promoting girls' education. And earlier, the Minister also launched an electronic payment system for social cash transfer through Zampost in Mongo that will benefit Western and Wapula provinces. We have details in this report.
The lives of the vulnerable families in the newly created Nalolo district will never be the same, as government has introduced programs to help them improve their living standards. Community Development Minister Emerin Kamanshi was in the area to promote social protection programs and enhance service delivery. Ms. Kamanshi has since handed over a motor vehicle, 6 motorbikes and 33 bicycles. She was in the area to give the officers carrying out the empowerment program's support and logistics to ensure that the program is successful.
We are targeting the people that will make a difference, and those are the girls and the women. And so when you empower a woman, you can't make a mistake about that, the officer you know. And I think it's going on very well. And I've been distributing the vehicles, the motorcycles, and also the bicycles for the community, I think for the community-based volunteers. And everybody is receiving this program with excitement. And I think they have seen how serious the Patriotic Front government is.
The minister area launched an electronic payment system for social cash transfer. The ministry has until recently been paying beneficiaries of the social cash transfer manually.
Launching the electronic payment of social cash transfer, which will be done by ZAMPOST here in Western Province in all the districts and also in Wapla Province. So we've launched the one here, so the ZAMPOST will be going to all the districts, sensitizing my officers and sensitizing the people so that they can know what to expect.
Residents of Mongo and Nalolo districts have hailed government for introducing various social protection programs.
On behalf of my fellow beneficiaries of Social Cash Transfer Program, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude for government's commitment to ensure that poverty is reduced among vulnerable.
Is currently empowering 3,726 vulnerable families through social cash transfer in Western Province, while Mongo alone accounts for 61,000 families. Teofista Lungu, TV2 News, in Mongo, Western Province.
The Zambia Correctional Service has called on the church in the country to help fight stigma and discrimination against inmates in the country. Commissioner General PERCY CHATO says the church must also help inmates with mental challenges access adequate health care as well as psychological support. He said this shortly before the commissioning of a borehole donated by the Church of Christ to inmates at Chawama East Correctional Hospital in Lusaka today. Here's a report.
Correctional Hospital is a source of medical care for mentally challenged inmates. This facility also attends to mentally stable inmates. With a total number of 115 patients, the hospital has for a long time grappled with challenges of inadequate water supply.
Chawama East Correctional Hospital has a mandate to provide health care to inmates and patients who have a mental health challenge and those detained under His Excellency's pleasure.
Christ Life Church has responded to the cries of the patients here. They have donated a 10,000-liter borehole, over 100 blankets and 10 sewing machines. Senior Pastor MULENGA CHELA says the church decided to give just like Christ commands them to do.
For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer and say, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink?
Commissioner General PERCY CHATO received the donation on behalf of the Correctional Service and commissioned the borehole. Mr. CHATO called on the church and other stakeholders to go a step further and ensure that the lives of the inmates are improved.
I wish to call upon the church and other stakeholders to help address stigma and discrimination. Further, through the church and our stakeholders, we need to collectively provide inmates with access to appropriate mental health treatment and care.
The inmates gathered here had every reason to celebrate with plays and songs. And what a better time to do so than now. Lufola Nkowani, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Government says it is determined to reduce poverty levels in many communities in the country. Lusaka District Commissioner Davison Mulenga said this during the donation of meat by the Muslim Social Welfare Trust to over 150 elderly people in Chawama. We have more in this report.
Quiet nature easily strikes you as one enters the room. More than 100 elderly people of Lusaka's Chawama compound waited patiently to receive a humble gift from the Muslim community through the Lusaka District Commissioner's office. And District Commissioner Davis MULENGA says although government cannot completely eradicate poverty, it will continue to make strides to alleviate it.
And that is the determination of this government for Mr. Edgar Chagwa, to ensure that the suffering that is being encountered by our people in our communities is alleviated, so that people do not suffer the anguish, the agony which we experience in our homes.
The Muslim community has been donating beef to different communities in Lusaka since Sunday. This time, they have targeted the elderly in particular for a reason.
So we decided through the office of the DC, as you know, that the DC's office is part of the government, and the government has created a conducive environment to do business in Zambia and to allow the freedom of worship. So we thought of sharing with our aged mothers and fathers around here. That is the reason why we're here.
And after graciously accepting the package, they paid a token of appreciation.
I appreciate for this package. I appreciate for my mother, my father, myself, and everyone who's coordinated this package. I thank you.
Government has been attaining higher heights with help from various civil societies in improving people's lives. This time, we see the emphasis on ensuring that the elderly are not overlooked in society being a reality. Kabembeka Sabula, TV2 News in Lusaka.
The Ministry of Health has dispelled assertions from some sections of the media stating that Mpulungu district of the Northern Province has been hit with a shortage of ARVs. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Administration Kennedy Malama says Northern Province has been from time to time receiving the ARVs from Medical Stores Limited. Dr. Malama says the ministry makes sure that there is no shortage of ARVs as they are important drugs to the country.
Antiretroviral drugs. We know that some sections of the media had reported that Mpulungu district in particular had a challenge, but would like to dispel those reports and to say Northern Province did receive the consignments from Medical Stores Limited, and at the moment we don't have any district in the country which doesn't have antiretroviral therapy, the drugs. As you are aware, once someone is commenced on antiretroviral therapy, they have to take the medicines for life. So we are a very committed sector and the government, and our role is to ensure that these medicines are readily available for our people.
We now take our final break, and when we come back, we have sports news in which victorious Chipolo Polo returns home. Stay with us. Welcome back. We now have sports news where Chipolo Polo coach Wetson Nyirenda says next month's World Cup qualifier against Nigeria is crucial as it will determine Zambia's passage to Russia 2018. Nyirenda says it is therefore important to start preparations early if the team is to beat the Super Eagles away on October 7. He said camping the squad outside the country would be a good idea as the encounter will be key to Zambia's qualification. And Football Association of Zambia Vice President Andrew Kamanga said his executive will sit this week to look at options of where to camp the team for the must-win clash against Nigeria. Here is a report.
After collecting an impressive 6 points in a space of 4 days over the Desert Foxes of Algeria, the Chipolo Polo boys are looking to the next qualifier against Nigeria. The team, mostly comprising local players, has arrived back home. For Chipolo Polo coach Wetson Nyirenda, next month's World Cup qualifier against Nigeria is crucial as it will determine Zambia's passage to Russia 2018.
We've been talking to the Football Association of Zambia. I think they are also interested to camp the team outside the country, and if that comes, I think it will be a bonus to the players.
The option of camping the squad outside the country to prepare for the must-win encounter against the Super Eagles is also on the mind of the president of the Football Association of Zambia, Andrew Kamanga.
As you know, some of the players are already in Europe. They didn't come with us, they've gone back, and we may see it fit to camp the team abroad so that it's easier to prepare the team adequately.
Sports Minister Moses Mawere, who traveled with the team to Algeria, said qualification is a must for the Chipolopolo, who have done the country proud. And Captain Kennedy Mwene was the hero after saving a penalty from highly rated Algerian dangerman Riyad Mahrez.
As a goalkeeper, if you're going to play, or as a player, when you're going to play with players like that, you want to see their weakness as well. So I think for me, I guessed right. And I knew that he was going that side. That's why I went full out.
Zambia travels to Uyo to face the Super Eagles on October 7th in a match which will determine who goes to Russia between the top two Group B sides. Joy Siatubi, ZNBC Sport, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, President Edgar Lungu has congratulated the Zambia national soccer team for their 1-0 win against Algeria in the Russia 2018 FIFA World Cup return leg qualifier in Constantine, Algeria last night. President Lungu says the impressive start by the Chipolopolo boys in the 2018 World Cup qualifier tournament signifies better results ahead. The head of state says the inclusion of some players from the under-20 team into the senior team has also proved to be a better move for better results for the team. He has also emphasized the need to address shortcomings which were encountered during the first two matches and embrace a spirit of teamwork. President Lungu says the performance by the national team represents a model for Zambian citizens doing duty for Mother Zambia abroad. He has also urged the Football Association of Zambia, FA's leadership, to continue supporting the Chipolopolo technical bench for the team to achieve desired results. The president said this in a statement issued to ZNBC News by his special assistant for press and public relations, Amos Chanda. And still in sports, the World Boxing Council WBC has given Zambia's Catherine Piri a go-ahead to challenge for the WBC Super Bantamweight Gold title. Catherine will challenge Fatuma Zareka of Kenya on November 25, 2017 in Nairobi. Oriental Quarries Boxing Promotions Operations Manager Chris Malunga announced this at a press briefing in Lusaka today. Malunga said an American promoter, Bigger Than Life Entertainment, will work in conjunction with Oriental to promote the fight. He said Catherine, who is already in camp, is taking the fight seriously and aiming to get back to her winning ways. Malunga also said the end-of-year promotion tournament billed for December is still on and that Catherine will still fight. Catherine early this year surrendered her WBC Bantamweight gold belt to Mexico's Mariana Juarez. Her opponent, Zareka, who has stopped the likes of Esther Piri and Belinda Laraquante before, has won 29 times, lost 12 and drawn 2 fights. And on that sports note, we end our news at 18 hours. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government says it will not allow commercial farmers to use small-scale farmers to lobby for a higher maize market price. Defense Minister Davis Chama says government was aware that the commercial farmers want to use the small-scale farmers for their benefit. Police in Kafue have arrested 4 people in connection with the theft of 4 solar panels for the presidential milling plant at Muchika Cooperative in Kafue district. The 4 suspects were arrested by police with the assistance of the neighborhood watch in Chanyanya area. In sports news, Chipolopolo coach Wetzel Nyirenda says next month's World Cup qualifier against Nigeria is crucial as it will determine Zambia's passage to Russia 2018. Nyirenda says it is therefore important to start preparations early if the team is to beat the Super Eagles away on October 7. Well, that's it for the news at 18 hours. Join me for more news at 20 hours. My name is Nabwale Vlahakis. Thank you so much for your time and God bless you.